So you're thinking of a move to Colorado. Well, today you are in luck because we are going to give you the ultimate survival guide before you move here. Everything you need to know, the 8 things you must know, whether it's Denver, Boulder, one of the amazing suburbs, or maybe you're thinking of a move into the foothills mountains of Colorado. We're going to give you the ultimate survival guide for everything you need to know before moving to Colorado. My name's Tim Kampmann, and I am a licensed realtor here in the state of Colorado. If you are thinking of a move here, hit me up at the information below. I got tons of people reaching out looking to make a move in and around Denver, and I absolutely love helping those people out. I got your back when you are making the move to Colorado. All right, we got our moving to Denver survival guide and everything you need to know before you move to the state of Colorado. All right, number 1 on the list, thing to know before you move here. Weather is awesome. It can be a little sporadic and a little bipolar, but man, it is fall right now, and I am out in one of our beautiful parks here in the metro area of Denver, and it is just gorgeous. This time of year, we're in October. This is the time where you're going to need the heater in the morning, the AC in the afternoon, and you better dress in layers. It's going to be a little crisp in the morning when you first get out, and then once you get out, once the sun is up and you're 9-10 in the morning, it's going to warm up very nicely. So another great thing about our weather here in Colorado is our winters are actually pretty mild. Years ago, when Denver was just a tiny little town and not a lot of people heard about it, and news media was generally your 6 o'clock news in the newspaper, the only time you probably heard about Denver was when a 3-foot blanket of snow had hit and it was a blizzard. And if that's all you knew about Denver, that's probably what you thought it was like all the time. Unfortunately, the secret's out, and that's really not the case. So we do have beautiful weather through the winter. From October, November, and December, we'll probably have a lot of 70 degree days through the fall and even that first part of winter. The time when it starts to get actually pretty chilly and cold is in January and February. That's traditionally our coldest months, so make sure you got your snow gear and winter weather clothes for that. But once March rolls around, we start to get some warm up. We do get a lot of rain in March, April, and May, and even into June, afternoon thunderstorms, but the weather by and large in Colorado is fantastic. Yes, we can play golf into the winter months, into November and December. Can even hit the golf course sometimes on a nice day when you don't have snow in January or February. So plan on leading an active lifestyle because the weather supports it here. Item number 2 you're really going to want to consider before making the move here is preparing for the altitude. Altitude sickness and air quality here in the Denver metro area can be a little bit rough. Most of you know it's nicknamed the Mile High City because Denver is 1 mile above sea level, and Denver and maybe a little bit to the east are probably the lowest points of Colorado in the metro area. If you head to an area like Castle Rock or maybe even Westminster or Golden, you're going to be a little bit higher in elevation, maybe 5,800, maybe up to 6,000 feet above sea level. So make sure that you, when you fly into Denver, take a day or so to get acclimated to the higher altitude before making a trip up to the mountains. Some people, if they fly in to DIA and then head up to the high country, generally have a harder time acclimating, getting up into that 8, 9, 10,000 feet in elevation, whether that's hiking or skiing or mountain biking. So give yourself some time when you get into Colorado to get acclimated to the altitude. Make sure you're probably doubling your water intake of what is normal for you wherever you're coming from, whether that's a sea level state or something maybe more in a desert climate. Make sure that you double your water intake. It's very dry here, and that will help with the altitude sickness. Another thing to be a little bit concerned about is air quality in the Denver metro area. Since we butt up to the Rockies, we generally do get some of the residual smoke that comes in from those forest fires that happen, whether that's in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado or north of us in Montana and up into Canada. Byproduct of those wildfires can be very negative, have a very negative impact on our air quality here. So make sure that you're prepared for that. Give yourself some time to acclimate. Me, as a Denver native, I haven't noticed that big of an issue. Maybe it's because it's all I know and my body has become acclimated to it, but give yourself some time. All right, next item that you need to know is that moving to Colorado, you are probably going to be thrust into a very active lifestyle. Colorado is one of the healthiest states in the United States, and the reason for that is because we live very active lifestyles. I mean, why wouldn't you when you got all this beautiful open space and nature around you, when you got the Rocky Mountains just a short drive away, whether you are into hiking or rucking or running, mountain biking, snowboarding in the winter, skiing in the winter. There are just a lot of opportunities to be very active here in Colorado. If you want a more active lifestyle, Denver is definitely going to be a good fit for you. Some of the areas that are my favorite to explore and hike are the foothills when you get up just outside the Denver metro area to Evergreen, Genesee, and even Conifer, but you really don't even have to go that far. If you are in the metro area, there's going to be some trails, some either paved trails that may be a little bit easier if you're not ready for a very intense type of workout. If you're in one of the suburbs like Westminster, where I'm shooting this today, there are tons of natural trails and paved trails for you to explore. So put on a rucksack, get out there, and enjoy all that Colorado has to offer. And if you are looking for other fitness opportunities, Colorado is filled with gyms. We probably have as many gyms as we do coffee shops. Maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but seriously, there are gyms in every community. Whether you're into CrossFit, you like group classes, you want something that's more move at your own pace, like 24-hour fitness, go in and do your own thing, there are a ton of options here in the Denver metro area. So along with living a very active lifestyle, be prepared to buy gear when you get here. It's just something that's probably going to happen once you start moving more, once you start getting out and enjoying the outdoors, whether that's hiking shoes, rucksacks, backpacks, water bottles. You're going to probably end up spending a lot of money in gear, so just be prepared for that. And if you're into more of the extreme sports, mountain biking, skiing, snowboarding, it can get kind of expensive pretty quick, but some options to keep it low are shop some of the secondhand stores that we have here, like Palladian Sports, look for garage sales. A lot of people get into some of these sports anticipating that they will do them a lot, and they end up going once or twice a year. Great, but you can get a great deal on maybe some secondhand equipment to give yourself a chance to experiment, see if you're going to like it before you end up go and dropping $500, $600, $700 on skiing gear. Item number 4, this is important. Most people overlook it. Vehicle choice here in the Denver metro area is very important. I said we have very nice weather most of the year, but we do get the occasional snowstorm, and our cities and the counties do a great job of plowing those streets, but you're going to want something with 4-wheel or all-wheel drive. At least have one of the cars in your household have 4-wheel drive for those times of year when you get buried under a couple feet of snow and maybe in a spring storm, but you still need to get out, still need to get up to work or what have you. Make sure you have something that is a 4-wheel drive vehicle. The most popular vehicle here in Colorado, the Toyota 4Runner. So if you're moving to Colorado and you want to blend in right away, get a Toyota 4Runner. Secondly, get a Jeep, and the other car, super popular, Subaru. I won't say anything more about Subaru. If you drive a Subaru, we can still be friends. It's okay. Vehicle choice, important. Get a 4-wheel drive. Okay, item number 5. And you probably have heard this on the news. Colorado is a marijuana-friendly state, so it is legalized here for recreational use. Several years ago, they legalized it for medicinal use, and shortly after that, it got approved for recreational use. So there are still rules around it, and we've been the butt of many jokes, pun intended, that everyone in Colorado is just living on a Rocky Mountain high. Not as pervasive as you might think it is, and honestly I haven't noticed it to be any more of a problem than drinking. If you're driving around Denver or Inglewood or some of those interior, more urban areas like Aurora, you will find a lot of dispensaries and recreational shops for people to get marijuana, but by and large you're not going to notice it a ton. Okay, we got to cut in here. That's hilarious. As soon as I was saying the marijuana portion, guy walked by and I could smell the marijuana. What are the odds? Okay, item number 6, housing prices. Housing prices are substantially higher than a lot of places in the country. Now it is relative cost of living. If you're coming from, let's say, a San Diego or a California, San Francisco, or Boston or New York, Colorado is going to be significantly cheaper than a lot of those areas, but our housing prices are about 30% higher than the national average. Benefit of this is our wages are higher than the national average as well. You're about 14 to 15% higher than the national average when it comes to average annual income. So you may get some sticker shock when you get into the Denver metro area and some of the suburbs, but remember, there's always deals to be had. If you move a little bit further out of maybe the Denver hub to one of the suburbs like Parker or Castle Rock, you're probably going to get more house for your money, and you're going to in turn get larger house, larger backyard, more amenities maybe from the community for a little bit lower price, or the same price as you may get from a home in Denver where it's just a 1,000 square foot 2-bedroom 1-bathroom house. You always need to know where to look for the details, and hey, you got me on your team for that, so make sure you hit me up at the information on the screen when you are thinking of your move to Denver, because I got your back. So another thing to remember with the cost of housing, if you're moving from a state like Texas with super high property taxes, traditionally Colorado property taxes have been some of the lowest in the country. So that helps out a little bit with the affordability when you're calculating your monthly mortgage payment. And something to remember is, hey, once you buy that house and you have paid off the mortgage, all you're responsible for is your insurance and your property tax. Having lower property taxes can be a benefit in the long run, 15 or 30 years, depending on when you pay off that mortgage and the house is 100% yours. Okay, number 7, let's hit on areas around the Denver metro area and around Colorado, because if you're thinking of a move to Colorado, maybe Denver is not the right place for you. It might be one of the suburbs. It might be an area like Boulder, very different than the city of Denver. Boulder is kind of the college town. It's where CU is located, Colorado University. Shout out to Coach Prime, doing an awesome job up there. It is super expensive. If you want to live in Boulder, it is an amazing area. It's very beautiful, butts up to the foothills and the Flatirons. So if you've seen some of the surrounding pictures of the campus from a CU football game, you know that the area around Boulder is just phenomenal. It's very, very gorgeous. But Boulder comes with its own unique culture and style. It's kind of funky and it's weird and it's kind of a hippie and a liberal town. Super cool area. The housing up there is very expensive, but it is very cool, very beautiful area, and a lot of the architecture and the neighborhoods and the builds in Boulder are very unique and a little more custom style. So if you're looking for something, you're not afraid of the higher price point and you're into more of a unique home and an awesome area to live in, Boulder may be the best option for you. Other areas just outside of Boulder that might work for you as well are Lafayette and Louisville. So these are kind of suburbs of Boulder. They're not quite as expensive as the city of Boulder. You're set back a little bit further to the east, so you're not right in the Flatirons and up against the foothills. So you lose a little bit of the accessibility. You have to drive a little bit further, but maybe worth it for a lower price point. Now, when we're talking about Denver, you have the interior of Denver, downtown, very urban, kind of corporate feel to it. You move out into the neighborhoods and suburbs of Denver. You'll have a little bit an older neighborhood feel, minus maybe Central Park. That's out east. If you guys want to check out the Central Park neighborhood, did a special video on that. Check it out. Be looking for more of a traditional suburban feel, and so you may look at neighborhoods like Littleton or Centennial or Parker or Castle Rock, things that have a more traditional suburban feel where you have all of your big box store modern amenities close by, and the neighborhoods are very standard, conforming, not a lot of variety in the build and the quality. You're going to find more of a cookie cutter neighborhood. It's not always a bad thing. You know, when you have an HOA, if it's properly run and it keeps out some of the riffraff and people from doing weird things to their houses and building, unsafe additions to the houses, an HOA can actually be a pretty valuable thing if it's run right and it's run in a reasonable way. So area can be very, very tricky when you're moving out here to Denver, so hit me up. We'll make sure we identify what's important to you, so we either get you close to the foothills or maybe in the foothills in a town like Genesee or Evergreen, where you have complete mountain style living and you are actually within the mountains. Or maybe you just want to be close by. Maybe you want to be in the western area of Littleton and Morrison, where you're kind of right up against the foothills. It's a 10 to 15 minute drive up into the mountains, up into maybe one of the canyons to hike around. There's a lot of different options when you're thinking of a move to Colorado, so don't let Denver be the only thing you're focused on the move. Okay, and lastly, when you move to Denver and Colorado in general, everyone is going to want to come visit you. Maybe you're coming from the Midwest or farmland or somewhere in Nebraska or Kansas. Denver is going to be such a cool spot, and Colorado in general is going to be such a cool spot that your friends and family are going to plan their trips around where you live now, which is a very cool thing. Just be prepared for it. Denver has so many amazing amenities, amazing things to do, amazing places to go and explore and see, that your friends and family are going to pick your place as the place to visit in their summer and winter vacations. I know family trumps all, and if you have family in Iowa and you go back there for family reunion, that's awesome. But when you got the mountains, you got hiking, biking, skiing, all the wonderful things that Colorado has to offer, the amazing scenery, the amazing weather. I mean, why wouldn't you come out here for a visit? All right, guys, that's all we have for today. Thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button while you are here. And as always, hit me up when you are thinking of the move to Colorado. I got your back on this. We'll make sure you get 1, the perfect area, 2, the perfect home, and 3, we'll get it at the right price for you.